All right, we're live. Hopefully, we have a few people hanging out in the chat watching, but give it a few minutes here. Wait for people to roll up.
Jim, the fishing rack behind you, is that a new addition, or have you always had that and just never noticed?
Hold on a second. I've got to figure out how to mute. There we go. Oh, what behind me?
The fishing rack?
Oh no, I've always had that.
Okay, I guess I just never noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, when I started my live stream last January, I had no idea what I was going to put back there. I knew I had to have these panels to keep the echo down, but I was just looking for something, like the light. I needed something to balance it. So, not much planning went into it. I just tried to cover up the wall the best that I could.
No, that's good.
Hey, you see Backdraft is on tonight.
Oh, we got Brandon. Sweet.
And I shared it out with my crew.
I saw that. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Shooting it out there. We don't normally push this on socials too much, just kind of keep it casual, but
well, I'm sorry then.
No, it's all appreciated. We'll take it.
Yeah, I was noticing, man, you're getting up there in some subs, Alex.
Working on it. I did not meet my goal of 1,000 by the end of the year, but other than that, very grateful for the support. I've noticed my niche is tournament videos, 100%. All my other videos.
Well, what I have noticed, my tournament videos get great views and my boat videos get great views. If I stray from that at all, they're just mediocre, or they're, bottom of the list on my YouTube studio,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how your views do with the live scope. I feel like when I do those live scope recordings, I don't feel like I get any additional engagement. It's like, man, I did all this extra work to try to capture this video and no one mentions anything about it. And so I was like,
yeah. Well, if y'all remember, we're going to go back 2 years ago. That was when my channel blew up, was when I got Mega Live and started doing the Mega Live videos.
Yeah.
And looking back on them, man, they were terrible quality. It was just a handheld, but I was trying to get it dialed in and learn it, for everybody. And then I got the target lock and I got more viewers from that. And everything was going good, and then they came out with that update about this time last year that crashed my setup. And, I've done a lot of videos on it, but it was an actual update that really killed it. With the exception of my BFL videos, everything else fell off because I was not making, Mega Live videos. And when I got the opportunity to partner up with Phoenix this year, I made the decision real quick to put Garmin on the front. And I chose the GPS map version because of Active Captain and being able to record, what's going on. So the video I dropped today was basically a test. I mean, I took a bunch of raw footage and just threw it together real quick just to see how it would do. And if you saw, I put a little square down in the bottom for about 20 seconds of live scope footage, a picture in picture. And I just wanted to see how it would do and see what reactions I got. Because I really want to do a lot of forward-facing videos. Because you don't have to be a young gun to use it. And I'm going to lead the charge for the older guys that, hey, even though you're a weekend warrior, man, I'm going to help you get it dialed in.
I love it. I have one question in the chat already from Tyler here. Alex, is it true that I know I'm actually 4'4"? So just got a little correction there.
Must be the
hey,
camera.
we see. I see Rick's on board from Leesburg.
Down there on the, is that the Harris chain?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, he's a good buddy of mine, a fellow Team Yolo Bake Company pro staffer. Good dude.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry.
no,
Thanks for inviting me on, Alex and Johnny. I appreciate it.
yeah,
I
of
hope we
course.
have some good conversations, and I'm really looking forward to us all fishing together in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tyler is actually going to be fishing that with us as well. So
Good.
it'll be good to have him. But well, we've been here about 6 or 7 minutes, so we'll go ahead and jump into things. Johnny, let's just start with you. Let's catch up, man. What you been up to?
Well, I am just found out that my trailer has been repaired. I was down in Lake Chickamauga last week and noticed my dust shield was off of my bearings, my trailer bearings, and so it was a little hot. And as I was out there fishing, the guy was looking at it, was like, "Yeah, this thing is non-repairable." And so luckily, I was able to get my boat on another trailer, got my trailer uploaded to a shop, and they just called me yesterday saying it was all squared away and ready to be picked up. So
Glad you got that resolved. I know that was probably somewhat stressful being hours away from home and having to deal with that.
yeah, I know Jim has a dual axle trailer, and times like that, I wished I had one, because I think of an issue like that, I think you could take the wheel off and just ratchet strap it up. But when I was looking at boats, I was like, man, like tandem axle trailer, that's just more, two more tires I got to buy, two more bearings I got to worry about, and it's a little bit harder to park. I got a small, tight driveway here, and so that's why I went with a single axle.
Understood.
Totally. Yeah.
And hey, it doesn't matter how old your boat is, a trailer bearing can go out anytime. It's something I stress about all the time. I'm always looking at my bearings every time I stop for a break when I'm on the road.
Yep.
Well, other than that, Johnny, other than your trailer, you've been out to Chick a few times. You've been fishing a little bit locally. Tell us about all that.
Yeah, when I do fish locally, I have been fishing Old Hickory some. Percy Priest is right in my backyard, but that bite has been a little tough, and so it's so tough that I hired Merv from Nashville Fishing Guides. He catches white bass, hybrid, and crappie and stuff like that. And so Doug and I decided to go out there and hang out with Merv on one cold Saturday afternoon, and so just to be able to like feel a little tug on your line, just because just bass fishing out there for me, at least on Percy Priest, is tough. Had been catching some out on Old Hickory, but it's a little bit of a drive and can get a little repetitive at times. You fish in the same lake.
Yeah, that's sort of the same reason I go and catch the trout. It's just because you can actually catch something. You're not suffering bass fishing. You can actually just catch about as many as you want. So that's part of the reason I go do the trout stuff. But it's been fun to see you going out to Chick. Speaking of, I know we're headed out to Chick this weekend. Should be fun. It's my first time on the lake, so I'm interested to see how it goes. It's a bit of a drive for us over in Nashville, but you have a chance at literally a double digit anytime you go. So it's hard to pass that up.
Yeah. What about you, Jim? Have you fished Chickamauga much?
No, the first time I saw it was, right before Christmas when I went to Hennessy Outdoors and dropped my boat off. I'd never been down there. Beautiful.
Yeah, I know they got a nice little shop. I've driven by Hennessy, and I do have a like a little light that goes on my power pole that I really like. I'm not sure if you have that on your setup or not, Jim, but if you don't, I highly recommend it. It's pretty slick.
They asked me if I wanted it because I have the built-in bow lights. They said, "Hey, do you want that? Then you don't have to fool with it." Well, the problem I have is that backing in my garage, my power poles clear the garage by that much. So if I put the light on there, I would have to lower one pole every time I go to back it in. So I opted not to. That's the only reason. I think it's a great product.
Gotcha. those are things that are hard to consider when you're looking at a boat. I know, Johnny, I know Kevin just bought a new boat recently, a 24 Skeeter, and he was having problems finding something to fit in his garage. Just things that you don't really think about until it comes down to it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the day I picked my boat up and brought it home in mid-October, I had to lower my power poles, on the jack plate, all the way down so that I could back it in. Now, you can always hit the button, lower them, back it in, but I don't want to fool with that.
I believe it.
I'm 53 years old. I'm lazy. I don't want to have to do that every time I back it in. So I just lowered the poles on the jack plate.
That works, man. Well, we got a comment here in the chat. Looks like Rick recently did something similar. Just finished up all four wheels, brake axles, rotors, bearings, calipers, and actuator. Do you know what kind of boat and trailer he has, Jim?
I don't. Rick, what are you running, man?
Yeah, let us know.
I know I've seen a picture.
Let us know.
For some reason, I'm thinking it's a Ranger.
Okay. Seems like you get a lot of complaints about trailers with the newer boats nowadays. I think only a few companies make their own trailers in-house nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's part of.
Do you know Phoenix makes their own trailers?
They do not. They use Marine Masters.
I think
your videos got me wanting a Phoenix. It's crazy. I see your videos and start watching. Then I price out that 21XC. I'm like, yeah, that's costs more than the house.
Yeah. Yeah, they're expensive, man. I mean, my boat's only 19 foot 8 inches, and it is even with my deal, it was still the biggest expense I've ever had outside of a house or an RV. I have bought an RV before, but I mean, it costs more than my first house.
Wow. Well, we got an answer here. Rick runs a Ranger, so you were right, Jim. If we ever need a contact for parts, hit Rick up. Rick, if you do videos, let us know in the chat if he's active on YouTube. We'll be sure to plug him in the description here. But
yeah, he just started a channel. I mean, he's brand new, less than a month.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. We'll definitely give him a plug in the description here, and hopefully some people will head over there and give him a shout. But let's talk about this coming year and what our plans are. So we'll start with Jim. What are you going to be up to this year fishing wise?
I'm so busy. I actually had to do a schedule, and y'all forgive me. I've got to look over at my other monitor. But I was going to fish a Dale Hollow Winter Series tournament next Saturday, and I'm still thinking about it. That's the Winter Series that's ran by Christian here in the local area.
Yeah.
His Dale Hollow event is next Saturday, and I'm still on the fence. But I'm not. If I do it, I'm just going to drive up and drive back. I'm not going to do a staying in the cabin deal. But and then let's see, January 20th, we're doing our YouTuber local Nashville area deal. I'll let you talk about that later.
Yep.
And then January 27th is the Middle Tennessee Winter Bass Fishing on Center Hill. And then the Lebanon Boat Show is for me, it's January 30th through February 4th because I got to work it. But it's really the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And hey, I see Chad's on. What's up, Chad? March 2nd is the BFL for Dale Hollow Mountain Division, which I'm fishing right now, Mountain Division and Music City. Let's see. Where was that? March 2nd. March 9th is the Winter Bass Trail at Lake Gunnersville. I'm probably not going to do that one. I'm thinking about in March 15th, going down to Birmingham for the Red Crest Outdoor Show. I think that would be pretty cool. I've never been to a Red Crest. Have any of you guys been to one? The outdoor show? I'm hoping it's going to be similar to the classic outdoor show. So I'm going to go down there and see what's going on with the theme crew.
Yeah.
And let's see, you know, I could list them all, but I'd be here a while. I've got BFL for Mountain and Music City. And based on how I do in the first, you know, Dale Hollow events is going to determine if I jackpot the rest or if I fish the rest. If I do decent, like half the field, if I'm halfway up, I'll fish them all. If I like pull out a 0 or something, I'll skip Center Hill, skip Tim's Ford, and I'll just fish Old Hickory because it's right here. Because I'm in a no stress zone this year.
That's good, man. That's a
I'm
good
not
place
going to stress it. And the reason why, Alex and Johnny, is I know, Alex, you've pimped me a bunch about it. This year is going to be the year for fishing videos channel. It's 80% fishing and 20% other stuff. So, you know, and for me, I was holding off till I got to 5,000 subs, which I hit that mark night before last. And now that I've got that, now it's going to be 8% actual on the water videos. So the one I released tonight is kind of a test to see how it does, to determine what the length needs to be and that kind of stuff. But I'm real excited about it. And now that I've got everything working, you guys have no idea the stress I went through during the month of November, trying to figure out why my map won't go straight down the lake. I couldn't figure it out. And once I ripped the helixes off and put all new solixes, everything was great. So I'm how would you say, I'm functionally ready, and there's no excuse. So it's on.
Awesome. That's great. I don't know if you've been looking at the chat, but so Tyler is jumping in the Music City division, first year boater this year. He's a good dude. I don't know if you guys have watched any of his videos, but fishes around here a lot and did a really cool video on Normandy the other day, a good live scope video. So you guys should go check his channel out, but you'll see him around the Music City division this year, Jim.
All right, cool. And you know, that's what I love about the fishing group around here in Middle Tennessee. Man, I get along with everybody. Everybody's just good people. We all have a common goal, getting out there and going fishing. And, you know, I love all the guys around here doing YouTube. I just think it's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
And you guys are young. You probably don't see it through my lens. Because 28 years in the Navy, I didn't have this opportunity. You know, after 9/11, my background just didn't exist. And I'm telling you, I could not wait to retire so that I could do all this network and get to know people. And, you know, I'm just enjoying the crap out of it right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's busy. It's a busy life, I think, for those of us, you know, full-time job plus trying to run a channel and a social media and all that. I know for me personally, it's stressful, but we take it all on voluntarily. So I don't know that I can complain about it all that much. Got Josh in the chat saying, "Hey guys, never fished any tournaments, but I've been thinking about it." I would say the fishing as a co-angler is a great way to just jump in if you've never done it before. It's a really good way to just low stress. You don't have to make any decisions. You know, you just grab a bag of tackle and a few rods and jump in. But that's usually what I tell people is just jump in as a co-angler for a little bit and see if you like it. But I mean, I've got really good fishing buddies who they don't really like tournaments. They'd rather just enjoy a fishing day, just catching them and having fun. So I understand that for sure.
Me.
Yeah, that's Johnny, right? We got David in the chat here. David is a huge supporter of at least my channel. Great to see him. He comments on every one of my videos. Everything I post, David is there putting a comment on. So I appreciate him greatly. And he says hi to you guys. So that's cool. But I'll jump in real quickly to what I'm planning. So I've kind of already announced it, I guess, but fishing the Choo Choo Division BFLs. I'm fishing the Alabama Bass Nation again this year, and then also fishing the Toyota Centrals. So it's going to be
nice.
It's going to be a busy year. Actually, it's busy in a different way than last year. Last year, I felt like every single weekend I had something going on, and this year it's kind of like they're grouped up. So I've got like a few weekends in a row, and then a 2-week break, and then a few weekends, and then a break, and then. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes as far as getting content out, because it's just not going to be a constant stream of stuff. But I will have plenty of content coming out with fishing, 3 trails like that.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy the Toyota series. Before, let's see, let me think back. When was it? It was after 9/11. I was stationed in Texas. And I did dabble in the BFLs a little bit, but because of being on active duty, I couldn't focus on it. But I did jump in. Back then, it was called the Stren series.
Yeah.
And I jumped in as a co-angler. And, man, it was a great day. I got a check. It was awesome. But, times were different back then. This is... Oh God, when was that? 2005.
Wow.
And I went to Sam Rayburn and fished as a co-angler, and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, Johnny, any plans for you? Any big trips planned or anything cool to talk about for 2024?
Well, as you just joined earlier, I just got my boat repaired with the trailer stuff going on. I'm also getting my carpet redone, and so I think that's going to be interesting, because I just now realized that it's also going to be that same time frame as our January 20th tournament. And so I know we got a few boaters that plans on fishing, and so might have to jump on someone's boat, and then pretty sure my brother will be off, and so if someone needs a co-angler, I'm sure he'll be happy to jump on someone else's boat. And so again, just really looking forward to hanging out with some of you all and fishing Center Hill. I think that's where we decided to go. Kind of wanted to get away from some of the local lakes here, and I don't think anyone has a big advantage at Center Hill. I think Chad's going to be out there this weekend, and so he's probably going to be dropping some waypoints and for all those big fish that he's going to be catching. So he might have a slight advantage.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I think my biggest item for 2024 is trying to get on the Coosa chain, for some of the TVA lakes. And, in Chickamauga, I was able to catch a few spotted bass. And so I think the Coosa chain is known for having a few spotted bass. So I want to try to catch some of those guys this year.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That's one of my very favorite places, probably my favorite river to fish, besides the Tennessee River. So that's cool to hear that.
Yeah, I know Brandon's on here. The chat said I thought it was on Priest. I'm not sure we ever decided on Priest, but I know we wanted to try to do something different. And I think everyone's kind of leaning towards Center Hill, but
I think initially it was proposed to be on Priest, but we have sort of changed it recently.
Well, I'll go wherever y'all want to go. I just think it's an awesome thing. We can get all of us local YouTubers out there, all running our GoPros, talking to each other. Everybody, meet at a boat ramp where, we all introduce ourselves, walking around with cameras. I just think that'll be cool. And the reason why I'm looking forward to it is so that people that follow my channel can get introduced to you guys and see, how us Middle Tennessee people do things. And so I don't care what lake you guys pick. I'll go to either one, just not the Cumberland River.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on the Cumberland River right now.
Yeah, it looks like Brendan said he won't be able to make it, so I guess the whole me and Brendan kind of initiate this conversation. So I guess we might be back on Priest then.
Yeah, it's wherever y'all want to go.
But I think Josh Jones is on. I don't know if you're still on here, but if you follow Josh at all on that Percy Priest page, that dude's been catching them, and so I'm a little scared now. He catches them without no electronics.
Well, maybe we just want to invite him so we don't lose all our money. How about that?
Yeah, It doesn't matter to me. Y'all know I'm not a great fisherman anyway. I consider myself decent. I just have fun doing it.
Well, that's what it's all about, man. We enjoy your videos. There's a reason your channel's got over 5,000 subscribers. So a lot of other people enjoy your videos too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You humble me, man, because who wants to watch a fat, bald-headed, gray-haired beard guy on a boat? But it all started, just me playing around with it. So I enjoy doing it. And I've gotten better with my editing. My live streams have gotten better. I'm not real good at the live stream thing, though. And you mind if I talk about that for a minute?
Go for it.
Man, I like doing the live streams, but I don't feel that I'm good at it. And the reason why is because, like right now, a lot of people are talking, forward-facing sonar, the pros and against, and, and that whole debate. And to me, I want to live my life drama-free. I don't want to promote drama. And that's exactly what that is doing. And, I like forward-facing sonar. Does that mean that's the only thing that I do? No. I love Carolina rigging. That's actually my go-to, is Carolina rigging and flipping a jig. But there's times when that doesn't work, and that's when I want my live scope. Or if I try my live scope and that doesn't work, then I'm going to hit the points with my Carolina rig, But I don't like drama at all. And I had to deal with it, being in charge of my last duty that I had. I was in charge of 5,000 sailors, and you would not believe how much drama 5,000 sailors could have. You name it. I've dealt with it, and I just don't like drama. So that's why I struggle on my live streams, because a lot of people want to talk about controversial topics, and I struggle with that because I don't want to do it. So mostly what I try to do is, just talk about boats and fishing and gear and electronics. I don't feel at times that I'm qualified to do that. And that's a topic that's been out there in YouTube land too, is that, I am blessed to have companies that I'm partnered with. Why are they partnered with me? It's because of my YouTube channel. That's the only reason. It's not because of my MLF earnings. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have problems with that. And all it is that you try to take a product, try to take a product and say, hey, I like this product. Here's what this button does. Here's what that does. And people like that. So,
yeah.
When, the controversy things, I really don't like to get into. So I'm continuing my life. Matter of fact, I'm doing a special Monday night, which is my 5,000 subscriber live stream party, I guess you would say.
Yeah, let's go.
Y'all have seen him on my videos. Chris Fondren's going to be coming over, and he's going to actually be here in the studio. My wife's going to sit in on this one, and I'm going to try to get my brother-in-law, Steve, who y'all have seen him on my videos, over, and we're going to give a bunch of stuff away. So I'm fixing to fork out some money in shipping, but I got some stuff to give away. I'm waiting to hear back on a couple of my companies on stuff that they're going to donate,
Awesome.
like baits and stuff. But it's kind of like my celebration for 5,000. And technically, I didn't want to do it until I had 5,010, because I've noticed if I say anything about live scope, I'll lose a subscriber.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I do a new video that shows it, then I'll gain 3 or 4 more. It's totally cycling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys see that, but I mean, one day, boom, all of a sudden I had like 35 new subscribers. And then the very next day I lost 5. So it's weird how that works.
Yeah, I know that Tyler can probably chime in on this. He is quite the YouTube algorithm study guy, I guess you could say. He's very interested, very knowledgeable about kind of how YouTube controls things and how the algorithm works. So he'd be a good guy to chime in. But I know that even Randy Blockett talked about recently how no matter what he says, he'll get his channel video will blow up and he'll gain a bunch, and then he'll say something else on a different video and he'll lose a bunch of subscribers. So
Yeah.
I think some of it is just the natural flow of the times that we're in right now with fishing, with the industry. But I can understand wanting to stay away from controversy. One of my regional videos, I threw up right in front of the boat and caught a fish right in front of my boater, and I'm still getting comments, months later about how bad of a person I am and how I made a mistake. And so I certainly understand how controversy and stuff like that, it affects your channel. It definitely does. Sometimes positively because, someone shares it with someone else and whatever. And sometimes negatively because you get negative comments and whatnot. But I know Johnny seems to just post and not worry about anything else. That's what I like about your channel, Johnny. You just straight up, whatever you want to post, you post.
You've been pretty consistent too, Johnny.
Yeah, when I have a working boat, I can get out there and catch some fish. It's a little hard making good content if you don't catch anything, because I don't want to make a video just to be making it and feel like I've got to put subscribers and put video out there to gain subscribers. And so and in regards to the live stream stuff, that's why I love the conversations that we're having right now, because I don't feel like we really have to talk about anything. It's really just like a lot of times it's just Alex. I mean, it's just like if we're at a restaurant and we're catching up.
Yeah, dog talk.
Yeah, and others can chime in and ask questions, and I think that's great, getting other engagement. I mean, I would love to get other folks on here. We've had like 4 people on here, but it can get a little challenging, doing it remotely, talking over each other or whatnot. But I mean, maybe these videos maybe don't get a ton of views or whatnot, but I mean, Alex and I text and chat pretty much every day, and so it's good to kind of get on here and let others kind of participate also. So
yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you guys want to talk with me.
Hey, products real quick. I am pretty proud of I got a pretty cool new product as it gets cold. I mean, Jim was out there the other day, and I'm sure y'all use those little heat packets where you shake up. I don't know if y'all had the same problem that I have, but I feel like a lot of times it's inconsistent. Or like you'll get it and it takes forever to warm up, and when it does warm up, it's like you're about to get off the water. And so I bought these USB ones, and you just charge them up, and they don't have a huge service area like the little heat warmer packets, but man, you put this in your jacket and always you can easily warm up your hand, and you can bring them up and just kind of warm up your fingertips, because when it's like 35 and below, and under 40 for me, my fingers get pretty numb, and it's kind of not enjoyable. And so I just put these, crank up these guys, and they last all day, and they warm up my hands pretty quick, and it's easy to charge up, and it's not wasteful.
Yeah.
Did you just get those on Amazon?
Yeah, I think you just call electronic hand warmers, and there's a few different ones out there, and of course with YouTube there's a bunch of different reviews and whatnot. But I mean, price wise, it's not terrible. I want to say like $20-$30, but again, you just have to buy it one time.
Yeah. So I have a question for you both. We'll start with Jim. What is your favorite or most useful winter piece of gear?
I just ordered some new ones and got them in. I tried one of them yesterday because I got 2 different styles. It's Under Armour cold gear. That's my favorite stuff. I bought the compression pants and the top, a mock turtleneck. I know I like the one that is, they say it's compressed, But yesterday I tried one that's a little more loose, and it did well. But what I noticed was that I should have wore the bottoms as well. That I don't know about you guys, but when y'all put on a rain suit, like I have two. I have a summertime one and a wintertime one. And my wintertime one, normally I would wear blue jeans under it, and then I would layer up on the top and then put that on. And what I would find out, because of my bad knees and back, I have a hard time moving around in all that, pants, with the blue jeans. So I went with, I got a bunch of Under Armour stuff the other day. I'm going to wear sweatpants underneath my fishing suit. And I tried it yesterday for the first time, and I was able to move around a little better in the boat. I miss being 30. I can tell you that right now. But it was more comfortable for me. I also learned not to wear regular tennis shoes when it's 28 degrees. I had on insulated socks, but my feet still got cold. So I will be wearing my, special shoes that I have for cold weather fishing. But that's probably my favorite cold weather product is the Under Armour cold gear stuff.
Sweet. What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I can vouch also, if you get some of that Under Armour like thermal type stuff, start that as your base layer, for the leggings and, like an undershirt. And then, Jim, yeah, I also wear sweatpants. Like I said, you can move it around a little bit more. And then I have an AFCO insulated bib, and that keeps me warm when it's 40 below. I feel like, my core and whatnot doesn't really get cold. And I feel like a good beanie or what do y'all call these guys? Like a toboggan, or y'all call it a hat or a beanie? Because I feel like
that's a beanie.
That's a beanie.
Okay, I'm old school. We call it a stocking cap.
Stocking cap.
But
this one from AFCO, it actually has like a wool lining on it, and so it's super warm up there. But what's annoying is the rare days that we have the sun that's out, it can get a little annoying when you don't have like that bill to cover up sun. I have some good Costco Costa sunglasses, but man, having that bill to block that sun is super helpful.
Put it over your ball cap. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I put on a ball cap, then put it on over it.
Gotcha. I have to give
if you get one of those low profiles, not like this one. This is a Richardson 112, but you got a low profile hat. You can put your beanie or stocking cap over it, and then you got your bill.
Yeah. All right. Since this is my channel, I'm going to use two things. A heated vest. So like you've got those hand warmers. A heated vest has been.
Oh man, I didn't think about that.
And it's been key this year. I think to me, I run hot naturally. If I keep my core warm, the rest of me is usually pretty good. So I don't even usually wear like a big coat. I wear just a Reaper sweatshirt with the bibs and then a heated vest. And man, it keeps you toasty.
How's the heated vest work? Is it like a battery pack or something?
Yeah, it's just like you run, your camera or whatever off of. It's got a battery pack that goes in the vest. So it is. The unfortunate thing is it's one more thing to remember on tournament morning. Of course, you've got all the other stuff going on. But it is really nice that you have like a source of warmth on the boat that's not the sun, And the second thing I'll say is, and I know that Chad mentioned he's got these new Fish Monkey ice fishing gloves. But those fingerless wool gloves are also, I know, Johnny, you've got them. They're phenomenal. But now Bible Bell is making fun of us in the chat.
I know it.
Because we're all Southerners, that it's not cold. Listen, that humid cold is different. Just saying. I grew up where it gets cold. The humidity cold is different. So I don't want to hear it, Mr. Bible Belt. But,
yeah, Tyler's talking about cold snaps killing off the shad.
It's going to happen.
You said it is or no?
It will. It happens everywhere on every lake.
Yeah, when it gets
when it first starts to happen, it causes a bite.
Yeah. I feel like when you get those nights, like consecutive, a few nights under freezing, when that water really gets below 50, down in the mid 40s, that's when I feel like you get that shad kill. Be interested to hear if that happens.
Yeah. Like, I won't say the lake, but one time I went out there and it was real cold, and it had just started affecting some of the shad, and it turns on the crankbait bite, especially like a wiggle wart, something that moves really erratic. So remember, there's your tip of the day.
I
You
like
start
it.
seeing dying shad, man, throw a wiggle wart.
There's the juice. All
Are
you
you,
you 12 who showed up, that's the juice.
Now, Jim, are you Tactical Bassin talks about that burn pause on their speed cranking. You ever tried that?
No, but what I have done, I was watching a YouTube video today, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, I know it was Bass Talk Live. I've burned a rattle trap before during the winter, and have caught them because it's the weirdest bite you'll ever see. You think there's no way they're going to hit it, but all of a sudden, boom, you catch one. Burning a rattle trap, I've done that.
I love a trap. Y'all know that. So we got Kyle in the chat. Shout out to you, Kyle. Gore-Tex cycle wear on Amazon. 25 plus years in pressure washing, new construction, working outside. So it looks like we're missing the boat on something here. I wonder how those do on the water if you're trying to fish with wearing them on. If someone wants to pull them up. Gore-Tex cycle wear. That's cool.
Well, I mean, my rain suit, is he talking about like a rain suit?
I think he's talking about gloves. I'm trying to pull them up here.
Oh, okay. I wish I had mine. When I got my guide wear, Cabela's guide wear, they just happen to have the gloves that go with it. And they're the type that, you have no fingertips, but they're awesome. And I wear those all the time. And then when I'm driving down the lake, I put another pair of gloves over them until I get to where I'm fishing and slide those off.
Yeah, Josh, we know you agree on the trap. He's been crushing them
Man,
out there.
I don't know if I believe him all the time though. He's always like, "Oh, I catch him on that trap." I'm like, "Man, there's no way that's the only thing you have on your deck." I always have I'm tripping over my rods because I have so many different lures and stuff on my deck. So,
well, that's one thing. So I've got my first BFL is on Gunnersville on the 10th of February, and then the Toyota is on the 14th, 15th, 16th. So that should be they'll be biting the trap at that point, but
yep. Get you a 3/4 ounce one.
Maybe we'll see
put it on a worm rod.
Oh boy, we got Jim with the dropping more juice out here for
yeah,
everybody.
Maybe y'all want me to not share that kind of stuff?
No, you should.
Okay, well,
that's up to you.
I tell you, February and March, man. If you're on a lake that has grass, get you a 3/4 ounce trap. Start off with a red one, and if you don't have a red one, then move to like a golden brown crawl type with orange on it, and throw it out there and fish it like you're hopping a worm around. Throw it out there, let it sink all the way to the bottom, and rip it up and let it fall. Just let it lay there. Dead stick it for a minute. Rip it up, let it fall. Because most of your bites are going to come on the rip.
Mm-hmm.
When you rip it up, they're going to hit it, and it's a reaction strike.
Why a worm rod?
So that you can get the feel of it and not have the parabolic, bend when you go to rip it up. Yeah. In case, like if you hung it up in the grass, because there's still some grass that are going to be there. You want to have a little bit of backbone to rip it out of the grass.
Seems like you would rip it out of the fish's mouth. I figured you would need that parabolic bend for the.
No, man. When they eat it,
they eat it.
Yeah, they usually no problem losing fish.
Yeah, and I've never done that on Gunnersville, but I've done that on Sam Rayburn.
Yeah, yeah. There are guys who throw a 3/4 ounce out there on Gunnersville, but most of that grass is only a few feet below the surface. So unless you're really burn it. Some people do absolutely burn that trap over the top like that. Some people catch them on that bigger one, but I throw a 1/2 ounce, standard crankbait rod, and the key is just keeping it as clean as you can, as long as you can. But I'm really excited, hoping that bite is still happening that early.
Yeah.
I love that bite, man.
Yeah. How do you like to fish a wacky worm? Do you enjoy it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do enjoy it. I just don't throw it all that much in tournaments.
Well, that is a place you're going to want to throw it.
Yeah.
And have different options that you can tweak it. Like if you want to nail weight it on one end, mess around with hook size.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like it'll be a little early in the year for the wacky rig in February, but I mean, you can probably always catch them on it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Drop shot it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got no problem with that. But if there's a trap bite to be had, probably have that in my hand all day.
Yeah. You can cover water. You can cover water faster.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about, pre-spawn, crankbaits, jerk baits. You're excited, you get out on the water, you want to cast and reel, and those are real good baits to start working out, some of that excitement and anxiety and that kind of thing. And then if you get bit on it, continue. But always have a wacky worm on your deck of the boat year round, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes that's a lifesaver for me.
Yeah. No, it almost always gets bites. And something else that I have a lot of confidence in is a buzzbait, and Tyler's making fun of me because I throw it probably too much, but I am going to be throwing one in pretty much every tournament this year at some point. Whether or not I catch them, I'll try. But
I need to fish that bait more. I'm not confident in it, but I know it catches fish. What about you, Johnny?
Alex has been trying to get me on a top water bite, and I finally got on a decent top water bite this year, just throwing a what do you call that frog?
The toad?
Yeah, the little toad.
Yeah.
With the big hook on, 2 big hooks on there, and had a few good fish on that. I want to say late summer or something like that, early fall, and so that was fun. But never got on a good buzzbait bite this year, or last year. But looking forward to this year.
It's something that I feel complete confidence that I'll get a bite on every cast. I don't know if you guys watched the Alabama Bass Nation Day 2 video. We threw a buzzbait all day. I picked it up and I threw it literally all day. And it's probably the only lure I own that I could do that with. Maybe like a plopper but there's just something about every time I make a cast, I'm like, I'm gonna get one. I'm about to catch one.
Alex, that's a good thing. Johnny, what bait would you fish if you had one rod, one bait, you could fish it all day long in a tournament?
I actually have this bait in front of me. I mean, a lot of times this little small 2.8 don't catch big ones, but I feel confident in catching fish. And so at least if I fish this all day in a tournament, I might be able to catch a limit in it with the small 1/8 ounce jig head.
I think you're right about that, Johnny. What about you, Jim?
A black and blue jig, 1/2 ounce with a Zoom Super Chunk Junior. If you told me, Big Jim, you can only have one rod, we're going to do a 1 rod challenge. That's what it would be.
We've done that before. Like, what was it? Like 2 rods, maybe, Alex? And we, I forgot, it was probably like 2 summers ago, and we only had.
Let's do it again, man. That stuff's fun.
I think we did a 5 bait challenge.
Let's do a real 1 bait challenge.
Oh boy! Well, if it's a buzz bait, we gotta wait a little bit.
Swim bait, or a black.
I'll put a jig up against all those baits all day long.
Now, hey, a jig and a swim bait, those are like year round, no question. You can catch them. A buzz bait, I've got confidence, but a little less confident right now.
He needs a certain water temperature. He needs some wind.
No, I just need it to not be January. How about that?
I will say this though, if you search on YouTube, there's a couple of videos I think that are out there where when it starts to snow, you might could get bit on a buzzbait.
I've heard that myself, and I caught fish on a buzzbait March through November of last year. So all but 3 months of the year, I was able to catch fish on a buzzbait. Now I had to change it up on what bait I was throwing, but that's between ponds up here locally to lakes in Alabama, grass, rock, like all sorts of different conditions. So that's it's certainly something I'm going to have in my hand a lot next year.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm not sure if you're working with anybody from a jig perspective, but Backdraft Lures, Brandon, I think he ties his own jigs.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not. I don't have anybody that makes jigs. I bought some from a local girl last year. God, what was
Is it
her
Brianna
name?
or something like that?
Yeah. She made, I don't know, 100 jigs for me last year. I bought from her.
Oh, wow.
And I still have them. I'm playing around this year with tungsten finesse jigs. I got a bunch from Tackle Warehouse for Christmas,
Nice.
and that I plan on throwing them, peanut butter and jelly up on Del Hollow.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see which one you like on that one. I like the Kitech spin.
That's what I got, the Kitech. Yep, I bought the 1/2 and 3/4 ounce Kitechs. Man, they're awesome. They're like that big,
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm worried about is the smallmouth are going to crush it.
Yeah.
And the slot up there, it seems like every tournament I catch a 4-pound smallmouth that I can't throw in the live well.
I know, guys. A lot of guys don't like that lake because of that, and I'm like, it's an amazing place, but it's incredibly frustrating as a tournament fisherman. I'm really excited to see the BPT go there this year because they're not going to be dealing with slot limit. I think they're going to wreck them, man.
Yeah. I forgot to tell you guys that April 9th through the 14th, the Bass Pro Tour is going to be at Dale Hollow. They're launching out of Sunset Marina at 7:30. I'm going to go up there. I don't know if I'm going to take my boat or not yet, but I know one of the days I want to go out there and follow them around the lake. But
Yeah,
I do plan on going up there and being a fan because I'm a fishing fan like everybody else.
absolutely.
I mean, I went to the Classic last year. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know Johnny went to the Classic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jen. I plan on going to Red Crest and then going to that BPT event on Del Hollow.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun time. I mean,
I think if the invitation or the Pro Circuit was at Dale Hollow 2 years ago, and then I think the invitationals were there last year. Is that right? Anyways, there was I think maybe there was a Toyota there last year. But anyways,
Toyota, I think was there in 21.
Well, either way, I think if it hasn't been exposed already, how awesome of a fishery it is, I think the BPT is absolutely going to expose it. I mean, it's going to be incredibly popular from this year on out, I think, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I think that fish population is pretty strong. So, I think and it's also in the middle of nowhere, so it's not necessarily an easy place to get to. So it'll be interesting to see what effect that has on the fisher. But I think that is going to be one I'm watching closely.
You know what I've noticed about the lake? Like you said, it's in the middle of nowhere, right? The only people who really fish it are serious fishermen.
Yeah.
You don't see people fishing on the bank. Because of the access, number one. And up until it gets warm, summertime, there's not a whole lot of recreational type fishermen. There are people that go up there that fish it on weekends and stuff, but you see more serious bass anglers there than you do non-serious bass anglers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of extra boat traffic.
Right. I mean, when I went up there yesterday, I saw 5 bass rigs. on the water the same time I was.
Wow.
And I mean, it was cold. And I ran into them going to a spot that I wanted to check out, and sure enough, there were 2 boats on it.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, you know, it's that time of year, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely the good time of the year to be up there because you can just go scope forever. I mean, that's all you need to do right now up there. I feel like,
Yeah.
But it is an awesome shallow. Like the one BFL that I fished there 2 years ago, we caught them pretty much all shallow, and man, it was awesome. They were biting so good, cranking wood, real shallow, catching largemouth. I was like, I had no idea what this place was. It was so cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all want me to drop some juice on what I learned yesterday?
Drop it. If people are still watching, they deserve it.
All right. Yeah, we got a few people on. It was cloudy. Okay, so think about the clouds during the wintertime. When it comes to us as humans that live above water, the clouds seem to want to create a thermal layer to keep it warmer, right? Well, what it does, it blocks the sun out. So there was no light penetration in the water. And even down by the dam, you can usually see down in the water, you know, 5 to 8 feet real easy. But it was so cloudy, you could only see down a couple of feet because the water was dark. And what that did, it made the water real cold on the surface. And you know how you can go and find bait balls? They were not moving around yesterday. They were all hugged down close to the bottom.
Wow.
And I learned a lot yesterday just with my electronics running around and me and my buddy Chris talking about it and having conversations about, man, why did that fish just do that? Because we could see him on the scope, and it was unusual what was going on, and it taught me something. So if something comes up in the future and we got a cloudy day and it's cold and I know the surface temperature is like this, I know exactly what I'm going to do now.
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I know Uncle Frank on BTL has kind of talked about like bait fish, and I don't remember which one it was, but I want to say it's like gizzard shad will go down when it's sunny, but threadfin and blueback herring will come up. You know, that's why like on those like spotted bass lakes, if it's like sunny, you could still catch them on top water or something like that because those threadfins are coming up. And so don't quote me on that, but I think that was an interesting pattern that you know, Uncle Frank said on BTL. What I'm most interested in, Jim, is you know, that screenshot that you know, the video that you posted of your live soap screen. You know,
Yeah.
that hollow is deep and clear, and so I think that's part of the reason why that screen was so clear. I'm interested to see what it's like, you know, how it looks when you're like on Old Hickory or Percy Priest. I know Tyler also has like forward facing sonar. I forgot what brand he has, but I could definitely, me personally, I could tell a difference in a clear lake. You know, that screen is a lot cleaner, but when I'm in muddier water, you know, if I don't have like a foot and a half visibility, I don't feel like I can see it as well.
Well, a lot of it has to do with your settings. A lot of it has to do with the pH of the water. And a lot of it has to do with the temperature of the water. You're always going to get cleaner images, no matter what brand it is, during the winter because there's less particulate in the water. And I was actually able to dial back the gain yesterday because I didn't need it because the sonar waves were moving through the water with ease. You know, when the water warms up, you got to turn your gain up. And the little trick that I learned, and I will share it with you guys because it was shared with me by my buddy Gavin when we went up there a month ago. He was the one who taught me about the settings on a Garmin because, you know, this is my first Garmin unit. I had Mega Live for 2 years, and I knew how to dial in my Mega Live. I knew as soon as I got on the water, I could look at it and I could do a couple of tweaks and boom, it was spot on. And, you know, then the sun would come up. I knew what adjustments to do. The key thing is depending on what type of palette you like, some people like the amber. I like the blue. And the reason why I like the blue is because I can adjust the color gain way high. And that makes my fish and bait fish look different on the screen than they do on the amber. And it pops to me because of my eyes. That's the one thing I do like about my Garmin that I have is that when I have my solar bats on, of course, they're polarized because they're fishing glasses, right? And my solar bats, sometimes I would struggle on the Mega Live screen being able to get a good picture, but on the Garmin screen, man, I was like, ooh. I mean, it just that blue screen really pops when you got really dark glasses. I'm very sensitive to light. Like right now, I got these lights on me, and you can see my eyes are kind of struggling with it. I'm real sensitive to light, so you'll all 90% of the time I do a video, I got sunglasses on, and the Garmin screen with that blue and adjusting my color gain way up. I mean, like 88, 90. You can really see the definition of, any moving objects. Now, if you were going to fish like a brush pile that you wanted to focus on structure instead of focus on a biologic, you need to maybe try a different palette because it's going to look different, right? So that there's some juice for people out there that run live scope. I'm almost perfected it. I'm close. So I would say by May, you guys will hopefully, you guys will give me thumbs up on my Garmin videos coming up.
Oh yeah,
because I'm getting pretty dialed in on it. I really like it.
well, we have high expectations for the tournaments this year. If you're getting that close on it, man, I'm excited to see what happens when you fish it in a tournament.
Don't put that pressure on me, brother.
I just said I was excited.
I know. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm going to play that game this year.
I'm sure you are.
Sounds like I need to get out there with Bass Solution Outdoors. He's Coosa River and Demikian rigging some of those spotted bass. Probably, I know I've seen some videos out there. It's pretty amazing watching those guys just dangle that bait in front of a spotted bass and catching them. I forgot the guy that qualified. Done real good in the opens.
Hey, Bass Solutions, you got a channel?
So that's Joseph. He's an Alabama guy, and fishes the Bass Nation with me on and off. But he's down there. I think he's in the Birmingham area. Okay. But he did a few videos 2 years ago. I don't think he was able to do one this past year. Just kind of had some life stuff happen. I don't know him super well, but he's been super supportive of me, and definitely knows his way around the Coosa. Knows his way around Gunnersville, and he's saying Joey Nania is the guy you're talking about.
Joey, man, I love the way his style of fishing, man. One of the things that we're talking about BTL is like being in position, hook sets, and boat flipping, man. Dude, it's so fun watching Joey reminds me a lot like Kyle Welcher, like just fishing. And they just, I don't know, it just seems like they're just always in the right position. They just make it look so cool when they're boat flipping boats. And I'm big fans of those guys.
Absolutely. I love watching Joey fish, and I also love that he takes his kids out. He's got his kids out there all the time. I don't know if you guys follow him on socials, but it's awesome to see him taking his kids out. And
in the tournament too, right? I think his son fished with him in that tournament.
I think so. And Tyler, so he did a live scope video. I don't know if you guys have watched that video, but it sounds like he's making video game call outs. He's like, oh, the fish, he's on it. He's right there. He's going to eat it. Oh my gosh, he ate it. It's just so funny to me. I had to make fun of him. So Tyler just started coming to the gym with me in the mornings. So I've been giving him a hard time about everything.
But Jen knows that it's not always like that. I mean, you could throw at a lot of fish on live scope, and someone will. What's crazy for me is someone will come and look at it, and then hovering, get them all the way close boat. They'll fall up to the boat, and they're like, "Oh, never mind," and just go away. You're like, "Oh my gosh, really?"
Oh yeah,
super frustrating.
Yeah, I'd say 90% of them do that.
Well, we're looking here at, so we got some life stuff happening with Joey, but hey, we'll be we'll be here to support you when you get those videos cranking again next year. I know that it's going to be a busy year of fishing for all of us, it sounds like. But
yeah, sorry to hear that, Joey. I know what you're going through, man. I went through that this past year.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, losses for all of us. But I think fishing brings us together, and he brings up a good point. Yeah, Jono's Bass Fishing, Johnny. If you want to look at just the sheer volume of content that Johnny, this other guy, Jono's Bass Fishing, puts out. If you ever want to learn the Coosa River, that guy puts out multiple videos every week on the Coosa, catching them like crazy. I enjoy watching his videos. He goes to some other places, and Johnny's taking notes. He goes to some other places in Alabama that I really enjoy as well, that I won't talk about here, but just put it that way.
Hey, Alex, I'm not sure how much long you plan on going, but one of the things I want to talk about before we close is just some New Year's fishing resolution. And it's interesting as I'm looking back at, some of my notes. I actually had New Year's resolution from, I guess, 2023, and it's fun to look back on them and figure out, what all I did. So I'm not sure if you made any. I'm sure you made resolutions for 2024.
I have not finished them yet. I did write some down. I can pull them up, but why don't you start us off?
Well, for 2023, one of the things I had was, fish with 5 new anglers. I felt like I've done a pretty good job of fishing with some new folks, and I think Chad is one of them that's on here. I got to fish with him and caught like a nice 4 or 5 pounder with him on a jerk bait. So that was fun. Us as YouTubers, we always want to capture content and share and take pictures and all other good stuff. But a lot of times it's just fun to just kind of go out there and fish and not have to worry about stuff like that. And so I did a few outings like that. And like I said, Jim, it's less stressful and, just kind of getting back to the roots. And so I think that's kind of nice to do every once in a while. And then keep lure my personal best, which I didn't do. But let's see, new style of fishing or ice, whether it's ice or fly fishing. But I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I wrote down like 10 or 15 different things, probably did 3 to 5 of them. So it's kind of cool to look back.
That's cool. Great. That's great. I think with this first stream we did last year, I basically laid out that I wanted to make the All-American, and I was like 2 fish away from having a chance this year. I went to the regional, and if I would have had 2 more fish, I would have had at least a chance on day 3. But luckily, Chad had a chance at it. Couldn't quite get it done, but that was one of my goals last year. And then Johnny K, I'm sure people have told you that.
Yeah, and I used to be a big golfer before I got obsessed with fishing, and so it was always fun to get out there, and it drives my buddies crazy because they're like, hey, he looks nothing like Tiger Woods. But
it's funny though. It is funny. As far as fishing resolutions for me, my goal this year win a BFL or a Toyota. I had a top 10 last year and had a third place in AOY, but I really want to win one. I think I've got a chance this year. I love the whole schedule, all BFLs and Toyotas. I love the schedule for all of them. So that's one of the goals. And then I really want to downsize what I bring on the boat with me. I tend to bring a whole bunch of plastics and stuff that I don't need. I don't end up throwing. So I downsized a little bit last year, and now actually the Toyota series has rules on, I think it's 7 rods, a bag for tackle, and a bag for weather gear. So I've got to, I have to downsize for the rules, and it's also going to be a good thing for me to do. So that's kind of what I would say my resolutions are. What about you, Jim? Any ideas for us?
Yeah, I'm going to be I'm not going to work on it tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going sporting clay shooting, but probably this weekend I'm going to try to remove 50% of my tackle from my boat.
Wow.
I'm going to go through, reorganize it, because I carry way too much stuff, guys. I mean, I've got probably 40 square bills in just one box, and I have like 30 boxes in my boat. I have probably 100 plus bags of plastics. So I'm going through my boat, and I plan on reducing my tackle load at least by 50%.
Yeah.
Same thing Yeah.
I'm going to sorry, Jim, but I'm going to check, tomorrow, and like I'm literally bringing one box and like one bag.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it can be like a seasonal thing, right? I mean, it's nice to have all those lures that you have, but honestly, you're probably throwing the same crankbait or jig that you always use in trailers, and so might as well just have that and remove that from the decision-making process.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to get down to 15 rods. If I can just have 15 rods in my rod locker, that way, when I fish, I don't like to have more than 2 or 3 out at any given time. I mean, because I don't have a 21-foot boat, where I can line 10 up on each side. I want to reduce the amount of rods. So I guess you could say it's simplification year for Big Jim when it comes to tournament fishing now. The other thing, y'all were talking about goals or, resolutions or whatever, but a fishing goal, I'm signed up for 3 Dale Hollow events. I want to get a check in one of them. And that's my goal. If I do get a check in one of them, then I will continue the BFLs for that year. If I don't, then I'm just going to focus on the YouTube channel and jump in on local stuff here so that it keeps the expenses down. Because y'all know it's expensive to travel to tournaments. It's not cheap.
It is, and I think we're nearing the end of our time here, where we're getting to bedtime for me. But I will say that I think the next stream is going to be, we're going to talk about the cost of my last season of fishing. So that goes from BFLs, Alabama Bass Nation, Fishers of Men, some local stuff, the regionals. I sat down last weekend and took hours of my time to go through all of my credit card statements, all of my bills, all of my everything, and actually collect every expense that I had fishing related last year. So the next stream next week is going to be, I'm going to break down all of my expenses from last year, if you guys are interested. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the chat now as we get close to closing. But I just wanted to plug a little bit for next week. That's what we'll be talking about.
Nice. I'm glad we're trying to do one next week.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on with you guys. And I really look forward to us getting together to do our joint little fish off, whatever you want to, I'm game for anything. I just want to be able to participate with y'all.
And then we're going to have a clay shooting contest when it warms up a little bit. It's been a while since I'm out there at Nashville Gun Club.
Now, Jim, I might give you a little run for your money on the clays. I've been doing that a long time, so you better watch out.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Me and my dad are going to sign, and my brother-in-law, Steve, we're going to sign up for a tournament this year. We've been, my new gun that I bought back in September, Browning 725 Sporting, I've already shot 1,600 rounds through it. And I would say I'm really enjoying it. I've got the eye now, and I having fun with it.
Well, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see what this year brings for all of us. But I really enjoyed the show tonight. Make sure you guys follow everybody. You see the scroller there on the bottom that's got all of our social media handles. I know I'm very active on Instagram, but these other guys are active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram as well. So appreciate you guys being on. Thanks for everybody in the chat. This was a really fun chat, and we'll see you guys next week.
Talk to y'all later.
See you.